Everything is good. Let me just. Hi.
So first of all, thank you for giving your precious time.
Thank you so much.
So my first question is about your background, from where you did schooling, your graduation, college, etc.
My schooling has been in different parts of Rajasthan because my father was in transferable job. My 10th, 11th, 12th was in Jaipur. Then my college was from IIT Roorkee in civil engineering background. And soon after that, I gave UPSC. In my first attempt, I got Indian Railway Account Service, which used to be there back in those days. And in my second attempt, I got Indian Administrative Service.
Did you had any coaching for civil services?
Not per se, I didn't took any coaching, uh, but there was a part of optional where I took test series, which was also discussed test series, but there was not coaching per se, so I couldn't take coaching. I wanted to take coaching always, but because I gave my attempt right after the college, I couldn't take the coaching, so that was always an issue.
What was your inspiration behind choosing civil services?
Aspirations. uh, Aspirations were not that good. Uh, but yeah, major role I can say. No, I'm not looking back in my life, but right now I can say like the aspirations were because this is one of the best government services that you can get into. Plus the diversity that you get into the service, which is actually true. I hear a lot of my friends who are working in different companies, different jobs. They're having very monotypish work, monovalent work. So the diversity this job provides is really amazing, and you get to meet a lot of people. You get to have a lot of good interaction with the people, and the bottom line that at the end of the day you get paid to do a good work. Like if you're doing really good work, so you can see the change coming up in the people, and people are really enjoying all those small things that you are making up by your effort. So yeah, it was culmination of all those things. Plus some personal thing was also there. I really wanted to prove that one more time for some reasons. So I think all this actually asked me to become an IAS officer. So yeah, that's how it came along.
In which field you would like to work?
Oh, field. I can say three field right now. What I even health education and sports. But I don't know. I don't know if any other field can come along. But the thing is, as you grow higher in the service, the time gets limited. So you have to restrain yourself into certain domains. I can understand the time is getting limited now only. But yes, these three fields are still very dear to me. I also like science also. So maybe if science comes along with me, it also was good.
Which career did you choose, sir?
I'm from Rajasthan Garden. Like we give a list when you fill detailed application form for interview. So we fill a proper list of multiple cadres according to our preferences. Then if the vacancies are there, the cadre is allotted to us, and I've been allotted Rajasthan cadre. That was my first preference also.
How did you prepare for your prelims exam?
Prelims was really very tricky. I'm still scared to death out of prelims. आज भी डर लगता है काफी prelims से. But how it came along was first initially I first read all the books, whatever the books were there, geography, physics, not physics, geography, environment, history, economics. I read those books. I read the reference book for those. For example, Lakshmikant for polity. I did Spectrum for history. Runal Patel sir's online lecture. Back in those days, they were very small. So I did that for economics. Uh, Shankar IAS for environment. So I did those reference books first. Then 3 months before the prelims came, my prelims was actually delayed. But 3 months before the prelims, I would straight away go to my reference books and keep them revising again and again. So I would revise them 2 3 times. So that would be my content thing, because my content was very limited. So I had to be very specific about my content, like what I can study, because the time was also limited. Second is the mock test. I tried to give good number of mocks. However, I couldn't give that many number of mock tests because of personal laziness in this attempt. But I really wanted to give a lot of mock tests. So if you really want to try that, that would be good. And third is yes, proper like routine. Routine every day. You're waking up on time. You're eating proper food, and you're studying at specific number of hours, giving mock tests early, like at 9 to 12, 9 to 11, I think. So these are small things that I take took care of before prelims. I think that worked out. I'm pretty much sure it might not work out this time if I give prelims. So thank God that I don't have to give it.
What about CSAT?
CSET came easy to me. I was never nervous about CSET. I do understand that these days CSET is getting very tricky, but just give me a minute. Yeah, but for my season, wait, give me a minute. Uh, Yep. So for my season personally, what I did is I just gave two CSET last year, previous year papers, so 2019, 2020, और 2018 का जो real जो CSET paper हुआ था, I gave CSET paper for them, and I got comfortable. Initially, the first CSET that I gave, I understood that because I have not been practicing maths for quite some time, so the calculation comes slow. But in the second paper, I understand okay, the pace is good enough, and yes, I never got a problem. But I do heard these days that people are really having a lot of trouble in CSET because of the amount of the trickiness that they include, even the English passages and all small things. For me, I personally, that was not a big challenge. I just gave two mock tests and that's it.
How you prepared for your GS mains papers?
GS mains paper. So all the books that I studied for prelims, I revisited them. I didn't choose any new source. For example, if for history, if I studied spectrum, I studied spectrum only uh, in mains also and prelims also. So my source was very limited. I kept the same sources which I kept in prelims, same during mains also. That is one thing. Second is GS is pretty much covered in prelims only. There are specific few topics like securities, disaster management, which are not covered when we are studying for prelims. For these online videos or online booklets are available. I think I took help of Vision IAS. I took help of Vision IAS. I took their booklet and made small notes of all those small topics like GS, sorry, like security, disaster management, for world history also. World history we do not study for prelims, study for mains only. It took certain time, but once the notes are made, then I revise them again and again and again. So that's how my content was built for GS. Specific in GS, if you want to ask, like where I did from. What do you like? Should I give the specific list of the books or like shall I share it later on?
Sir, at least idea of book list.
Okay, the idea of booklet. For hello, can you see? Yep. Sorry for the call. So for art and culture, I did Nitin Singhania. I just read 5-6 chapters of Nitin Singhania, first 4-5, and then Indian philosophy, Jainism, Buddhism. That's it. I just read a few chapters of Nitin Singhania. Spectrum, I did almost completely, except post independence. I never did post independence. For society, there is a book there that comes. I don't have the PDF of that book. There was a book of 200 pages. I just one day sat on my computer. The PDF, online PDF was there, so I made note in one day of that entire society, and then the notes became very short, and then I could read the notes again and again. Geography, I did not do anything specific because geography was my optional subject also. So we have, I've already covered it extensively in my optional. For polity, again Lakshmikant, normal Lakshmikant, and for governance and all, they were just a miscellaneous topic. I took you help of rank 96 of my 2019 rank 96. I forgot the name of the person. His notes are available online of governance. So for governance, I did that. Then in GS3 economics, I again what I did for prelims. Mrinal Patel sir's notes were up there. They were very short back in those days. Abhi to they are actually 1,000 pages long. Then in yeah, then security and disaster for disaster management, I took help of Vision IAS booklet. I made note of it. For security, also I did the same. For international relationship, I did uh, Vision IAS ki mains 365. I didn't do anything else. I didn't read from anywhere. Yeah, Vision 365. Vision key mains 365. I made notes of that and then I used it. So this was for GS3. For GS4, what I did was back in those days on Telegram, there were free videos are available of Lukeman ISK sirs. Uh, when I was like 2 years ago, from now or 2 years ago, I just saw them. I made shorter notes of them. Those notes were not of the best quality, and I personally didn't like the. He covered almost all the topics, but they were not the concrete topics. Like he only covered small here and there. Ikka dukka se topics kare the. It was not the best amalgamation, but I just relied on those notes only, and I felt them perfectly good for me. I could write all the answers using those notes, and that's how it worked. So GS4 also I did from there only. That's
How you prepared your optional, and according to you, how much time is sufficient for preparing optional?
optional. Optional is very important. Actually, um, my optional marks are actually varying in first and second attempt too much. So in second attempt, I'm having like 84 marks in optional, which I had in attempt one. Option is very important, so it's better you devote a specific amount of time. So whenever the preparation is going on, it's a wiseful enough to spend around 2 to 2.5 months on optional to read about it, to make notes about it, and to get familiar with it before mains only. When the mains period is there, no, before mains only, it is better if you do that. In case you cannot do that, the first thing that you should do after writing prelims is to go and jump on optional, because optional is very important and we usually neglect it. And optional really increases the bar a lot. So these days people are scoring 300 easily. Not easily, but yeah, 300, 290. They are the marks that are coming in optional. So it's better if you prepare over them very good. So the time I would say is around 2 to 2.5 months whenever you want to devote it, like during mains, before mains, whenever you want to devote it. That is sufficient enough to know your subject, to make certain notes of some parts, and to replicate in the exam. So 2 and 2.5 months is good enough. But like when exactly to start is very important. So in the ideal case, if it can be done, do it before the you begin your prelims preparation only. That is the most ideal scenario. So before the prelims only, if you are devoting 2 to 3 months, that is good. But if you cannot do that after prelims, the first thing that you should do is actually jump on main on optional and quickly do it within 1.5 months. So that is the ideal time. And my optional was geography. I personally prepared it. I prepared it in 2 months, 2 to 2.5 months in my last year of college. Technically तो तब किया था, but then I forgot everything. Then I used the notes of my last year college only in my second attempt, and the marks were improved. So yeah, that geography was my optional, and in my attempt I got 280 odd marks. Yeah, so that was my option.
How you did your interview preparation?
Interview preparation is good actually. So interview preparation is very enjoyable part of this entire journey, because in prelims and in mains you do rigorous work. No one is actually taking care of you also, like you are your own. But once you clear mains and the interview comes, then the onus comes on the coaching institutes and all, that they will keep on calling you. They will be giving you forms to fill whenever you want to come and give your interview. So that is a very enjoyable time in that sense. Also you get to know a lot about your personality also. For example, like very basic thing that I actually never question myself, like why do I want this service and what do I expect in these services, what are the problems of my area, very small area. So there are some uh, template wale questions, uh, the meaning of my name, where do I come from, the problems of my place, my places that I've been visited to, then comparing, then my engineering and all, going back to what I did, plus current affairs. So what is happening in the current affairs. So there is a very high probability that your entire you can go to what is happening in these days. For example, if Russia Ukraine is having clashes these days, so they can start with Russia Ukraine, they can end with Russia Ukraine. So you read a lot current affair, you read a lot about yourself. That's how it's an entire amalgamation. My strategy in optional was to give more tests because uh, I didn't I didn't have anyone to guide me or anything. So in my head, the most wisest decision was to go give the mock, find the areas where I cannot give proper answers, come back and work on it, then go again give the mock. So I gave plenty of mocks. So like I gave like easily 14, 15, 16 mocks. So I had like a quite good number of mocks I gave. Some of the days I gave two mocks back to back. So that's how I did. My strategy was simple, to go give the mock, find the areas which I am lagging, come back, work on it, go again. New areas will be discovered, come back. And there are coaching institutes which provide you some personalized tutoring regarding that because like they provide these very fundamental questions regarding what are the questions that are expected out of you based on our background. So you go there, take a personalized session if you want. They will tell you prepare on this area, prepare on this area. They will personally tell you. So you will be having a rough idea of where to prepare, where not to prepare. And yes, then rest, go give mocks, build the confidence, and build the vocabulary that is required in the interview. It is very important. The words that you choose in the interview is very important, and how to sit, how not to sit, how to look, how to greet everyone. So these are things that you learn in giving mocks. Giving multiple mocks also build a lot of confidence in you. Like in the first or second mock, you will be like a lot nervous. Your hands will be sweating. You'll be nervous a lot, but slowly you'll get comfortable, and then if everything comes good, your interview can be good.
How to develop personality during preparation?
Yeah, this is actually very important. First, we have all grown with a certain set of our own personality traits. So we like something, we don't like some specific thing. Some of us like to crib a lot about any something. Some of us like to adjust with the thing. So personality is something that we have always had. These are the traits that also come very handy. For example, see, this exam itself is preparing you a lot. For example, if you're talking about mains, in mains you have to write 9 papers, including English and Hindi. So you have to prepare 9 papers, right? Very, and 5 of them are very quick succession. First paper is essay on the first day, on the second day GS1 2, on the third day GS3 4. So it is very rigorous exercise. So you need to have a lot of mental strength to write those paper, resilience, and I would say patience also, because at times you always feel that this I think this time is not good time for me. I think next year I will be preparing good, next year I will be preparing good. So a lot of patience is required, there's a lot of resilience is required, confidence is required that I can really do this. You have to always have to keep calming yourself. Yes, I can do this time, I can do this time, because competition is really very hard, and the uncertainty of this exam is too much. One paper goes wrong and your rank can go here and there. So you have to keep on motivating yourself. So confidence builds in this preparation only. But secondly, suppose if there are certain traits which were lost of us during this preparation and during our journey of college also. Suppose if there were some hobbies that we used to do during our school days we couldn't do, etc., etc. We can pick up in this interview times. This is actually very. This is the best time, I would say, where you can get some time for yourself. Also, you don't have to rigorously practice study. So for interview, even if you are preparing for 4 or 5 hours, you have rest of the day with you. Wait, give me a minute. Yeah, sorry, wasn't there? Yes, so during personality test preparation also, you get a lot of time to revisit your hobbies and to work along with a group of people who are giving interviews. You understand how confident they are, how are they sitting, how are they not sitting. So you learn a lot about yourself also. So I think personality grows on itself. So you don't have to like work anything specific. So you just have to revisit what you like, revisit what you don't like, go to different places. I don't know, like personality, like itself keeps on growing. For this exam, what is required is confidence, calmness, and patience, which you actually keep on experience during prelims and mains. And in this interview, you just have to show it to the people that yes, you are a confident person. Yes, you know the problems, you know the issues. You also know the solution. You are a solution-driven person. So an interview is, even if you don't feel confident, you can fake confidence. But trust me, if you're faking it, you have to be really good because then they easily get the interview board is good enough to get. You are not confident enough all small things. But yes, I don't think you have to specifically grow a specific personality set. You are who you are in just interview time. Just revisit whatever you do, whatever you used to do, how you used to be, and just replicate your original self. It is always the best personality you have.
Things must to do and things to avoid during preparation.
Okay, must to do. There are so many things that you should do. There are so many things that you should not do. But like I don't have a list at the moment. But off the top of my head, if two three things if I can think of, the things that you should not do is first remain in dilemma, like whether I should go for UPSC or not. If you really want to do it, just chug it and start preparing. If I want geography as an optional or sociology as an optional, take 1 or 2 days, decide. But once decided, go with an optional. All optional can give you equal marks. All optional you will love. Like there is nothing. If you don't like studying any optional, then it is also fine. Any optional will work. You just have to study, mug up certain things, and reproduce in the exam. That's how it works. So don't remain in dilemma. Dilemma actually increases a lot of time. So that reduces a lot of time. Second thing is uh, having too much discussion before you build up certain base. So the thing is, I hear a lot of people like they form this Telegram group. There are so many groups that they form. They are sometimes they come active on the group, sometimes they don't come active on the group. I would say is first like do your homework, study, have certain base. For example, when I came into the study and I had zero idea about polity, how politics works. I just knew democracy is for the people, by the people, of the people, as such. But I don't know what exactly it means. So I studied a little bit, study, and then I started discussing with the people, with my friends, and have a certain group of people very close to you. For example, I had this three people who from my college only. They were super helpful to me. uh, I think today what I am is because of them only. They pumped all those domains into me which are required to be produced in mains. They pumped all those information that it was required for personality tests, etc., etc. So I think that all goes on very good if you have a close group of people who you can trust. Third thing is what you should do. What you should I'm talking about should or should not do.
What we should do and not do both.
Okay, but we should do few more. What we should not do is again not having a proper balanced diet. I would say, and especially to those people who are living in Delhi, it's very important. I do understand it's very tough to take care of food habits because you are living over there. You are on the mercy of mess or that dhaba wala khana, etc., etc. But still, if you pay attention to your body and if you pay attention to what I read intaking, I think that's very important because a friend of mine, very close friend of mine, he got this. I think he got this lower intestine issue right before the prelims started. So he had a lot of bad times. So when you really require energy, if you are suffering with the health, I think that really creates a lot of problems. So it's better if you pay a little attention to your food habit. You go out to walk, to run, to have certain like for 15-20 minutes you have some physical activity. That's very very important, I think. Then what you should really do is keep on reminding yourself why you started this journey. This is very important. So this is a very very long journey. 1 year of preparation, then 1 year of examination itself. So if you take 2 years, so it's like 2 years out of, if you live 100 years, 2 out of 100, it's very very big proportion if you're just preparing for something, not having much social life, etc. So you have to keep reminding yourself why you started this journey. You have to keep on telling there is a reason why I started. That's what how you keep motivated yourself. Then one more thing I would say is, if you feel like you need coaching, don't hesitate in taking coaching, or don't hesitate in taking guidance from any senior or anyone that you know. This can really save you a lot of time. I personally had no one to guide myself, me, and I didn't take any coaching. So I know that there were certain months where whatever I did was of no use. So there were certain areas which were completely of no use to me, but I spent a lot of time. Had I had a good discussion with any of my senior or anyone I knew, it would have been really easy for me. So do not hesitate to ask help. Either it is from coaching, from a senior, whatever it is, whatever works for you, do that. And finally, I would say what is the must is have consistency. Consistency is really, really very important in this examination. I personally was that kind of a guy who would study for 2 days, then on the third day it will be fourth day good, fifth day knee. So that consistency wasn't that good, but I do understand the repercussions of those things, because you require consistency to make that margin of error, to not make that margin of error what is required in the examination. So if you are studying every day for 6-7 hours, that is also good. But if you do it every day with quality time, if you are studying for 10 hours, you should do it every day. It's like it should not be like this. One day you study 12 hours, another day you are studying nothing. Uh, then examination will prolong, like the number of attempts will increase, so why to increase the number of attempts? Just come into this exam, give it, and get away, because this is a very vicious examination cycle. People, like some of the people actually suffer like 3-4 attempts, fifth attempt, when then they come into this service. So it requires a lot of toll on their social life also, because we are not talking much to our friends, we are not having any social connection. Instagram and all that, they all lose, like we get we lose the touch of all these things. So it's better you come in the examination with the seriousness, you study, uh, watch movies, have music, everything. Like you should be like enjoying this throughout this process, but have consistency. And when you're studying, make an attempt to make it really good. Have consistency, and I think that will sway the way. And one more advice, if anyone would like to take, is watch movies, play games, just have fun. Like don't just go into the books and just study books. Like watch plenty of movies. Like you can watch one movie every day. It's totally cool. Watch as much as you want. Just have fun.
Any question left by me which you would like to tell to aspirants?
Mm, no, I think we covered pretty much everything. But people, okay, yeah, these days people do ask about what is the life inside the service, because and inside Lavasana. Lavasana is the place where you get training once you get into an administrative service, or any service for that matter. For foundation course, they come to Lavasana. So they do ask about how's the life inside Lavasana, and how is the service like after you come. Because before the service, it looks like mountain. So we always look for the service only. Once we just clear this exam, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. I would like to just make a point here that this examination is kind of a beginning of a career. It's not the end of everything. But for some people, I do understand, they dedicate everything. They feel that this is the end goal. But when they reach to the school, they realize that it's just the beginning of their bureaucratic journey or their career. So expectations are good. It just you should have some ground reality also, that it's just a service. At the end of the day, you're going there for training. You have a lot of fun with a lot of people. You get certain, I would say, like you have certain amenities at your disposals, like you have like once you come into the services, you have friends who are in like pan India. They are segregated, so you can go to any place in India and then you can have meet them, and you can get some of your accommodations and all done by them. But at the end of the day, this is also a service only. You come here in the training, you enjoy, you play, you make friends with new people. Then you come back, you work hard, and you make the places that you're going to good. You make people's life better. So it's kind of a job only, but if you love it, trust me, it won't look like a job. It would be like amazing. So just keep motivation, keep on motivating yourself, come into the service, and start having fun. Just have your foot on the ground. Don't lose that special touch yourself.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.